Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today we will be doing a tarot reading, a pick a card for the month of March, and we're going to be looking at some of the good things coming our way, some of the good changes and good luck. But before we get into it, I did want to do a quick reset of the cards, sort of a tarot deck cleanse, just because I live in Ottawa and the month of February had a lot of tensions and stresses, which I think affected my energy and the energy in my space sort of negatively. So I felt it was important to kind of have a reset for myself and my cards because they are also in my space and can be affected. And I wanted to have the most clear reading for you guys today. So if you do have a tarot deck at home and you're interested in doing a reset for your deck as well, which I highly recommend anytime that you either feel intuitively called to, or you just notice kind of the negativity in your space or you're feeling down more, it's a good idea to sort of do a reset. And the method that I used before doing this reading, I got from a TikTok by the creator Kate Van Horn, and it was really insightful. I highly recommend her TikTok. So the method here is to organize your tarot deck from the original first card to the last. So separating them into the 4 different suits and the major arcana, and then organizing the major arcana from the Fool to the World card, and organizing each of the 4 suits from Ace to King. And then once you've done that, you can put them in order, major arcana being the first sort of set, and then I personally did cups, then pentacles, then wands, then swords. And once you've ordered everything and you have them put together, you can begin to shuffle. And, any jumpers that come out, you can put back in. I personally, when I was reordering, I turned all the cards upside right. You don't necessarily have to do this, but yes, once you've got it all together, you can shuffle and then you should be ready to go. Hi friends! Welcome back to another pick a card reading. It is almost March at the time of posting this, so in the spirit of the upcoming St. Patrick's Day, we're gonna look at some things that are bringing us good luck in the future, or just what that good luck might come in the form of. And I think if you're in Ottawa, and I guess other parts of Canada as well, it's been a bit of a treacherous month, so I think we are all due for a little guidance or a little glimpse of some of the positives that we have lying ahead. So before we begin, I'm gonna light some incense and just ask you to take a breath with me, because I feel like I've been holding my breath a lot lately, and I notice like a tightness in my chest just because of anxiety, nervousness around sort of everything that's been happening. So this is just a moment of peace and release for all of us, a collective breath. Wonderful. Okay, so we're going about things a bit differently with today's reading. Instead of crystals to help us intuitively pick which pile. Oh my gosh, that's really going up. Instead of crystals to help us intuitively pick which pile is for us, I recently got this new Oracle deck from Indigo, actually, and it's called the Calm Club, and it's these really cute cards. I've only used them a couple of times in personal readings, and I really, really like them. They ask some really good questions, so I wanted to incorporate those in today's reading. So as per usual, we do have 3 different piles. We have pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. So it looks like we've got some colorful ice in pile 1. Really, really pretty colors. We've got some water with some small waves in pile 2. And we have a full moon in pile 3. So feel free to pause the video and take a moment to see which pile really calls to you, and then you can find in the description box below the timestamp to jump to your reading. Hi pile 1, if you picked this card with the beautiful pink and blue ice, I guess, on it, then this reading is for you. We're going to be taking a look at some of the good luck coming your way. So your card is the crystal, which is so funny because I chose not to use actual crystals at the beginning of this reading, but you still got one. So with the idea of the crystal, my first thought that comes to mind is crystal clear. So I think some luck that's coming to you is things are going to become a lot more clear. All of a sudden, the path is going to, like, your path forward is just going to make sense. And it's going to help you to take the necessary steps forward because it's going to become really evident what your next steps are. So according to the guidebook, the crystal asks, do we need to conserve or expend your energy today? So this might be a call for you to take some time to rest, maybe not put so much effort into figuring stuff out and letting it come to you naturally. Have you considered a situation from different sides? Are you hoping for transparency on a situation? Is the path of wisdom open to you today? And what do you need to work on healing? So I think right off the bat, one of the big aspects of your luck in the coming month is recognizing things that you may have overlooked about yourself before and understanding what needs healing, what needs protection, and what is precious to you, because like the crystals are like precious stones, so figuring out sort of those key things is a huge part of what is going to bring you luck in the month of March. Oh my gosh, I've got so much incense smoke. Okay, so we are going to get into some tarot. I'm gonna set this little guy up here, and I recently reset my tarot deck, so I heard that this was a really good way to get some super clear readings, and I'm hopeful that that will help us out today. I think it's really good to sort of reset the energy once in a while, especially when, like, if you've been anxious or just there's a lot of emotions that you're struggling to deal with. I think it's important to kind of release that energy from anything that you use regularly. Okay, so we've got the Emperor, Ten of Swords. Oh my goodness. The Hanged Man. The Tower and the Devil card. So, alright, Crystal Crew. Little alliteration for you. So we've got a lot of cards that have some interesting meanings behind them, especially when we're looking at sort of the luck that is coming to you. But I'm gonna break them down for you one by one, and then we're gonna hop into the oracles and sort of get some further ideas on what this could represent for you. First of all, there's a lot of major arcana here, so I feel like your personal luck and success this upcoming month is going to revolve around your understanding and transformation of self. Sort of your inner world as opposed to what's going on in the world around you. So, like, your environment and stuff may not change, but your inner workings, I think you're going to go through a bit of a transformation of self. And I think with that, you're finding sort of a structure. You're trusting yourself to make effective decisions to move your life forward. And I think that also comes with the clarity that we saw with the crystal at the very beginning of your reading. So, yeah, you're going in and you have this like really strong energy of like getting stuff done. The Emperor is tied with Aries, so Aries energy, very much the leader, the go-getter, risk taker even, sort of that domination aspect, but like in a really positive sense, like very assertive, and like you're establishing like roots to your own growth. So this card is like a really good indicator of a solid foundation that you're starting to build off of for your next part of self-understanding, I suppose. The Ten of Swords immediately following, I think this this aspect, I'm getting the sense that it means a couple different things for different people. So take whatever resonates and leave what doesn't. So with the Ten of Swords, I'm seeing this on one hand being you shedding, letting go of parts of yourself that don't really mesh well with you, but they still hold a special place in your heart. Like there might be some attachment to the ways that you've done things or the ways that you've thought about things, and because of the clarity and like the luck you have with seeing things for what they are now, I think you are coming to this conclusion that it's important for you to move away from previous beliefs or ideas about yourself or about just like how you see the world. Remember, this is like a lot of internal processing. That being said, this may have to do with the influence of something external, because this is the only card that is the minor arcana, and it is a completion card. So whatever the external thing is, it has already come and gone. It's already happened, but the effect on you is sort of what you're dealing with this month. But I honestly think that this is like, it might kind of be hard because the Ten of Swords is an indicator of like painful endings, it might be hard to let go of that part of yourself, especially if so much of your like previous understanding of your identity was tied to it. But yeah, I think it's sort of like a blessing in disguise. And on the flip side, an alternate way to look at this is this could represent an actual person in your life that you have cut off, or that has just kind of left your life. I feel like with the Emperor, this may have been someone that you cut off, but I think, again, it's sort of for the good of your higher self kind of thing. Like, not necessarily saying like that person was toxic or whatever, but they may have just like not resonated with sort of where you're going, and that's totally fine. Like, their journey is their journey, yours is yours. And like maybe you made the elective decision to step outside of that connection with that other person, whether it's a friendship, a romantic relationship, even like a job or something. And like there are feelings of loss here, and I don't want to like negate those, because it's important to like lean into those feelings and let ourselves grieve. But I honestly think that this is going to be the result of that inner clarity that you're kind of having this month. And it sucks now, but you're kind of like building yourself up stronger. Yeah, I think you're definitely coming out of a place of crisis, and it's because you are sort of taking the lead and being more assertive in your boundaries, your needs. You know, you're stating exactly what you expect now, and there are going to be either people in your life who feel a little bit hurt by that, and that's not on you, or there might be, you know, parts of yourself that you feel like you have to leave behind now, and that's kind of sad. So, you know, take whatever time you need to release that, but know that moving forward, like, this is sort of a blessing in disguise. It might not even be disguise. Like, I feel like you already have an idea of where you're going. Oh my gosh. Sorry, all the incense smoke is coming up into my face. But yeah, so I think with the Hanged Man here, you are going to get a break. And I know, like, that is probably really nice to hear. That could be the best thing you've heard throughout this reading. You are going to get a break, and I think at first this break might seem like a delay. It might seem like something is being held back from you, or that you're just like stagnant, but this is sort of the universe being like, hey, it's time you just chilled. This is your time to draw energy in, to receive inspiration. Just like anytime that you're resting, you're just filling your tank up, you know? You're filling the cup, so that you may nourish in the future. So yeah, part of your good luck in the upcoming month is that you'll finally get that break that you deserve. So try not to like fight against that. With the Tower card here, this is, I I think in pairing with that clarity, and I think this is, it's gonna sort of stir things up inside you, because it's gonna shake things loose that you didn't even know were in your head, and you're gonna be forced to think about things a bit differently. But I honestly, like, with the Tower card, I know it's a really daunting kind of card, but it, I think, is important to understand that, especially upright, the Tower card is like sort of this idea of things falling apart so that they can fall together. Like things breaking up into tiny pieces, tiny digestible pieces that you can process and then rebuild into something stronger. So don't let that be daunting. I think at the core of this whole thing so far, like, you still have that rest period, whether you take it or not. A lot of this is going to be like inner work. So the turmoils of the external world are kind of like slowing down a little bit for you. Or you're just like electively turning inward and you're like, I'm gonna use my time wisely. And yeah, the amount of clarity that comes through is going to really shift perspectives, I think, and you're going to maybe have some self-discoveries as well, which is really exciting for you. Yeah, I think you're like, I know it doesn't sound exactly like luck, but I think because of this shift, you all of a sudden the shadow sides of yourself are illuminated. And I don't mean like all darkness is banished, but I mean like there's a light on them and you're like, oh, I can recognize these things within myself and I can grow and I can become better for it, you know? Like, that is a huge part of doing shadow work, and the Devil card really, really brings up that that push to look at, quote unquote, the dark sides of things and, you know, consider where you may have created belief systems about yourself, sort of core beliefs that aren't true, and you're breaking those down. Like I said with the Tower card, you're breaking those down into digestible pieces and really understanding what that means for you and restructuring it because you have like this blessing of clarity in your rest period, I think, is when it's gonna come through. So I'm going to pull a few more cards, specifically Oracle cards, and sort of see what other information I can get for you for in terms of luck in the month of March. Okay, yeah, I mean, I've already said it, but transformation, things are changing at a cellular level, deep healing. So, for some of you, I think this might be energy that's been carried through for generations. Like, I think you're breaking cycles, and you're really starting to see that effect in the month of March. Like, this is sort of a pivotal moment for you to understand that the work that you've already done is paying off. So, I'm wondering when the waning moon is, because I feel like that potentially has sort of like, that can give you a time frame of when to expect a lot of these changes. Not for everybody, but I definitely feel like it could have some influence. Oh, awesome. Okay. So the next card is Share Your Voice. Come out of the cave, persecution, expression. So I think this is also going to be a time where luck finds you through your self-expression. You might have a better understanding of how you personally want to express yourself, whether that's like your fashion, you know, if you have a business, your brand, like things are aligning because you have a better understanding of yourself and your goals and where you want to be. This also might be in like a more literal sense, like your voice being, if you're a writer or a poet or a musician or someone that has to do with like you have a creative outlet that has to do with sharing words. This might be a really good time to sort of put yourself out there, and you might get some recognition for that as well. We're gonna pull one more card to sort of top off your reading today, and it's going to be one of my Rumi Oracles. Oh, there we go. Oh, you got two. Okay. We'll take them. So we've got the impossible made possible. Love creates infinite openings in the dark sky and shudders the earth with its magnitude. Sorry, I read that incredibly poorly, but the human heart knows everything, everything envisioned can manifest according to divine timing and grace. Yet the mind does quake with fear and at times will not listen to the heart. Is there any limit to the resources of the heavens? No. The divine has unbounded access to all that is and all that is yet to be. Trust the generous divine presence in your own heart. So I think this is sort of tying things together, like that idea of creation and resources and stuff. I think you have this well of knowledge that you have the opportunity to share and sort of dig into, like really going inward. Like I said, with a lot of the tarot cards, this is a lot of inner work. So I think you're kind of like finding that place in yourself, and you're bringing it out despite fear, and like some of the things like the Tower card and the Devil card, even the Ten of Swords, like they're kind of daunting, but you're going in head first, you're facing them, and you're coming out and bringing these, like this new understanding. The other card is Cosmic Heart. I have seen everything. I have no fear. I have the heart of a lion. I shine like Venus. For life to work out with perfect synchronicity and generous grace, there's nothing you need to understand. You have been asked to bear darkness without losing hope for the return of the light. Here you are, still loving, still wise, ready for a love that is bigger than you have ever expected. So, a few things with this card that I think connect with a lot of the reading. First of all, I feel like this card calls in to focus the need for a break, which we saw with the Hanged Man, that encouragement to sort of go into your reserves and just chill, finding that grace and knowing that you don't need to understand right now. You can just chill. And you know, you've been through it recently, but you have this incredible capacity to love and, again, share your voice. Yeah, I think you're coming out of your shell at the end of the month for sure. And I think when you do that, you're going to have a bunch of love returned to you in a bunch of different forms. Some things may catch you off guard, I feel, even. So yeah, that is what I'm seeing for you, group 1. I hope this gave you a little bit of insight, a little bit of hope after a bit of a tense time, and I will see you next month. All right, thank you. Bye. Hi, group 2. If you picked the card with the water on it, this is your reading for what good luck is coming your way in the next month, the month of March. So, your card is the ocean. Wow, are we surprised? So, the first thing that I think of with the ocean is emotion. So, as you may or may not know, water signs, or the suit of cups in tarot, is associated to the emotional self and feelings and love and that kind of thing. So, yeah, I think the ocean is a really great symbol of that abundance. It may indicate love coming to you, or just a flow of feelings, understanding your feelings more clearly, finding depth in things as well, which I think is really important. So when exploring the sort of meaning of this card, we're asked, are you feeling deep in thought about something? If there's something that comes to mind that you've been thinking deeply on, you have questions about or something, in the month of March, I think some of the luck that is coming to you has to do with resolution on whatever this topic may be, some kind of conclusion. It also asks, do you need help navigating to shore or home? So I think over the last few weeks or months, or however long you may have been feeling lost, maybe a little disconnected, and I think some of the luck that you're finding this month is home. You're gonna feel at home in your body, you're gonna feel at home in your actual home, you know, with people around you. I think you're going to connect with them on a deeper level, and I think you're going to sort of extend your outreach and sort of touch emotionally, spiritually. You're going to reach other people, and I think because of that, and like sort of your willingness to be open, you're going to as the card puts it, as the info manual puts it, you're going to discover new horizons. And I think another thing that this card asks is, I really like the wording of it. It's, is your tide on the way in or out? So understanding whether or not you're in the energy to create output, or if you're in the energy of drawing things in right now. You know, in group 1, I talked about filling your cup, and with this, I feel like it rings really true. So understanding sort of what part of your own cycle with tides and like giving and receiving, offering and accepting, that you're kind of in right now. And it can change day to day, it can change hour to hour even, but I think you're gonna develop a better understanding of where you're at in the motion of the ocean. So we're gonna set that card up here and we're gonna get into your tarot cards. So I'm just gonna be pulling 5 cards to see if we can get a little bit deeper on what exactly you might be encountering in the next month. So the 5 of Cups reversed. We almost had a jumper. I recently cleansed my tarot deck. So I don't know if that's why it's a little bit slower to offer cards, but or this could be an indication of sort of the slow uncovering of things over the next month. So I don't think it's anything you need to stress about for sure. We'll get 3 more. Okay. Okay. Interesting. Okay. I think these actually came out like this. So, let's get into it. So, when going over the ocean and sort of encountering that depth, understanding where your tide is at, the 5 of Cups reversed is this is a card of forgiveness, especially in relation to yourself. So just like the ocean was sort of asking, what have you been thinking about in depth lately, the imagery of this card shows sort of the inner cycling of the mind that you may have been going through. I think of, like, you know those games where it's like it's handheld and you kind of like tip it to try and there's like a little ball in it and it's kind of built like this, and there's a tiny little ball in there and you tilt it to try and get it through the little maze or labyrinth. That's what I think of, and it's a lot of mental effort. So yeah, and I think that there might be some criticism that you've kind of carried with you, but some of the luck that you're finding in March is actually offered to yourself from yourself, because there is a place of self-forgiveness here. And I think you recognize how your inner cycling of the same questions without motion forward, I guess, you're realizing some of the ways that that has been a setback that you've created for yourself. And I think one of the biggest blessings that you're going to have is you're going to move on from that. Whatever you've been thinking of in depth, all of a sudden it's going to resolve. Like I said, it's going to wash away. There's going to be this sense of release, of relief, with whatever you've been going over in your mind for, I don't even know how long. Yeah, I think you're breaking out, and you're sort of like cutting the cord on it, because with the Two of Swords, you've reached this point where you have so much information that there's no, this isn't like, whatever you're processing, it may not even be up to you anymore. You've gotten to the point where you know enough about your standing and like sort of the external of what's going on. You've processed the different aspects, and you kind of realize that like over this period this isn't your battle, you know, whatever it is. And I think this helps to lift a lot of the weight that you have been carrying. Like, yeah, I think you're cutting your ties from whatever it was that was kind of plaguing your brain for a while now. And I think that once you do that, it's going to actually bring you a lot more luck. It's going to open up your energy to new things. And instead of sort of harping on the setbacks and stuff, you're going to learn from the setbacks. You're gonna put things into a new perspective for yourself, and once you relinquish your ties to whatever it is that you've been thinking about, you're going to perhaps draw the tide inward. And yeah, I think with the Page of Pentacles reversed, generally this is the idea of like the Pentacles, Page of Pentacles upright is generally like developing skill. So I think whereas like upright is sort of incorporating that for output, right now you're just taking things in without concern for output. So also very similar to group one, and I see the Hanged Man reverse sort of pairing up with this. You are getting a break, which I know for a lot of people is going to be like really, really great to hear. And while there might be sort of like criticisms, maybe even you have criticisms towards yourself about like not getting stuff done or whatever, this is necessary. You know, you're taking a moment to, as I said, take the tide in, fill the cup, you know, finding your balance again. And I think once you do that, you're going to have a lot of really positive output to offer. I think this is going to, like, some of the luck that is coming to you in the next month is an influx of resources coming to you. And I think some of the things that you have been manifesting like past what you've been cycling over in your head over and over and over, the positive things that you have imagined for yourself, you're seeing them going into motion. But this is sort of a direct result of you being receptive and you cutting ties to things that are not serving you, and they don't, like, there's no connection to you. There's no necessary connection for you to be attached to it. So breaking past that and really harnessing sort of the skill to bring things to life within yourself. Yeah, I think after this period of receptiveness, you're going to launch back into your creative self with this, like, sort of freedom, wide-reaching, like, depth of understanding, which is going to positively impact what you put out into the world. So next I want to grab a few oracle cards, get some additional information. So I'm gonna grab a couple. Oh my gosh, that was so fast. So we have warrior woman, and gender, don't read that and be like, oh, I have to be a woman for that to relate to me. No, it's just the title of the card. So warrior woman, have you answered your deepest calling, and keepers of the earth? You are not alone. Ancient ancestors stand beside you. So the question of answering your deepest calling, it's interesting how many things relate to depth in your reading today. So I think your deepest calling is what you're going to put out later on after this period of receptiveness, which I think will also offer you the opportunity to kind of connect with energy or other people who are going to provide inspiration to you. So I think a really good, a little piece of luck that you're going to have is to better understand your calling in the next month. And I think opening yourself up to that guidance, and I think even your emotional self, sort of drawing it back to the ocean, understanding your depth and understanding, like, part of that depth being your intuition, for example, that connection to your higher self, that energy, knowing that previous generations led you to where you are now. There might also be some kind of connection to your family history or your past. Yeah, your ancestors, or just like some aspect of your heritage that ties into what you move into. I'm trying to think of examples, but like, let's say your great grandparents owned a farm or something like that, and after being receptive and stuff, you know, taking things in, learning, just allowing yourself to be open to these new horizons, all of a sudden you find yourself with an affinity for gardening. And you're like, oh, and the more you look into it, the more you have connections through your family who had like specific ways of gardening, or like, you know, maybe it's baking, there's a family recipe, there's something connected with your family that is going to be a step on your journey to understanding your deeper calling. So on top of that, I wanted to pull a couple of my Rumi Oracle cards. Well, I say a couple because for group 1, 2 jumped out. We'll see how many jump out for you. Did I say group 2 or group 1? Ooh. Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay, so you had 3 cards come out for this, and we're gonna take them. Don't tell group 1. Unless you're here from group 1, then I'm sorry, but you're also getting this. So the first card is Whirling Goddess. Not a single thread that has a head can go through the eye of the needle. Certain thresholds can only be crossed with the heart. You are being asked to trust rather than understand, so that you may leave the past behind you and embrace the beauty of life's journey ahead. You are ready. So, oh my gosh, I really feel like this connects to whatever you've been like going over in your mind. And you just kind of got to trust your gut and be like, yeah, this isn't for me anymore. I don't need to think about it. I don't need to overprocess. I don't need to understand what's going on here, because this isn't for me. And yeah, just leaving that behind and embracing what lies ahead, because you are ready to sort of step into the depth of your power. The next card we have is from Nothing to Everything. It says, "Oh, my friend, if you are longing to be written on, become a blank page. Sometimes you are asked to surrender a fantasy because reality is knocking at your door. It is a divine paradox that reality may deliver what you have been fantasizing about, but in an unexpected form. The divine knows how it will work best. Let go with trust in your heart. The divine is guiding you from fantasy into the fulfillment of what you have imagined." So I think deep down, you already know what your deepest calling is and sort of the connections that you need to make in order to make that happen. But I also think something like a little bit of good luck is something unexpected is going to happen that is going to unlock sort of another step on this journey for you. And maybe that's the familial connection. It might come to you instead of you sort of seeking it out. I feel like for a lot of you that's probably the aspect that this card is relating to, but you know, there is potential for something to sort of come to you unexpectedly. Yeah, you've got like there's so many different suits here. It's hard to know sort of what aspect of your life this may come in, but being open and trusting that good things are coming for you. Like once you make that recognition that you are leaving the past behind, I think this is going to open you up to receive even more. the new horizons, you know? And then the right choice. Not every eye has vision. Not every sea contains pearls. Oh my gosh, what the heck? The fact that we have this card talking about the sea and the ocean. Anyway, when you are drawn away from a tantalizing sweet shop, trust that there is more delicious array of confectionery just around the corner. Yes, you have your tantrum if you must, but you will be sheepish when you realize the hand that removes is the same great hand of the beloved that bestows even greater gifts. So, I feel like this also relates to kind of what you've been going over in your head, because you think that it is meant for you and you want to make whatever it is work, especially since you've been spending so much time and energy on it. But the moment that you sort of release that, you're gonna, like I said, turn the corner, and that unexpected surprise of like, oh my gosh, this is better than I even imagined is going to be there. And you, all of a sudden, because you've cut ties, have that openness to receive and in turn provide that positive output that resonates with you. That is what I'm seeing for you, group 2. So I hope that gave you a little bit of insight going into the new month, and I will see you next time. Bye! Hi pile 3, if you picked the card with the moon on it, this is your reading. Oh, surprise, surprise! Said no one. It is the moon. So, when I think of the moon, I think of phases. I think of, I want to say exploration, completion, new beginnings, cycles, mothers? Yeah, there might be something to do with your mother, or becoming a mother, becoming a parent, that kind of aspect, or sort of coming to realize, understand, see the completion of a project over time. Or just completing your own cycles with something. In the booklet, the questions surrounding the moon are: can you draw strength from the cycle of the moon? Should you look to the sky rather than the ground? Do you feel like you're seeing the full picture? Have you gone through phases lately? Or are you feeling worlds away from your worries? So, lots of questions here relating to probably the period of time that you're coming out of. A sense of fatigue or exhaustion, seeing the full picture slowly come to life. Understanding the phases that you've been going through in your own learning and growing journey. And for a select few who are watching this, this could indicate some kind of developing relationship in a positive way with your mother or a mother figure, a woman in your life, a connection with the feminine, or potentially, and this is for very few, so I don't want to freak people out if they're not looking for like a baby, but like there might be someone watching this who picked this pile who is en route to motherhood. So keeping that in mind, like I said, for some people, not the best news, not the luck you were looking for, but for others, this could be really, really exciting news for you. So I'm excited. So, oh my goodness, let's get into some tarot cards and sort of see what we can expand on with the luck that you have coming to you in the next month. The month of March. Oh my goodness. Okay, chill. Is this exactly 5? Oh boy. Okay, 1 flew away. Alright, and we're back. So, we've got the 5 of Swords, King of Cups, or sorry, Knight of Cups reversed, Death reversed, 2 of Cups reversed, and the 10 of Wands reversed. My goodness. Okay. So, starting off hot, we've got the 5 of Swords upright. So, if you've been going through some treacherous times, which I feel like a lot of us have lately, the month of February was a little bit bumpy. So with this, you know, you're coming from an energy that has a lot of conflict, disagreements, maybe pointing fingers, and this, like, there might be this defensiveness coming out. And I think with this card and the moon, you are sort of understanding different sides of things. Not necessarily agreeing, because, you know, this is still a card of conflict and disagreement, but you're at least coming to see other sides as you open discussions and stuff. And it helps you to further your understanding of the big picture, I think. Really understanding what's going on, what's under the surface of these disagreements, and sort of the phases of, like, what people who you may have these disagreements with, what they're going through as well, in terms of, like, their stages of grief or whatever they're experiencing. You can sort of put the pieces together and you're like, oh, this is how you got here. I understand sort of the steps that got you to this point of understanding yourself or the situation or whatever. And hopefully from there you can sort of smooth things over, or just, like, close things off, whichever it needs to be to sort of, you know, find that peace. With the Knight of Cups reversed, this is, I think, an aspect of yourself that you are understanding. The Knight of Cups upright is about creativity, romance, charm, imagination, beauty, just all of these, like, lovely things. In reverse, it kind of brings up the negatives of being too emotionally invested in something. So I think as you're going into the month of March, now, okay, this actually just occurred to me. Like I said, very small portion of people who watch this are going to have this resonate, but the mothers or mothers to be, you may sort of discover that you're going to be a mother through moodiness, you know, the up and down of your own emotions, and sort of that I guess emotional regulation difficulty. You're gonna start to notice it, and you're gonna be like, oh. For those that are not expecting or hoping to expect a child, I think this card is sort of recognizing how do I put this? Recognizing the ways in which you have let yourself dream without action. So once you do recognize that, it's really up to you, and I think this might be a big turning point to sort of put those things into action, or just like sort of grapple with what is realistic in terms of what you can do with what you know right now. I'm not saying that the dreams aren't going to come to fruition at any point in your life. I'm just saying, like, look at what you have right now in terms of resources and what's accessible to you and what you understand. What actions can you take to step forward and grow and reach that completed state of the full moon, for example. So following that, we have the Santa Muerte card, which is death, and in reverse, this is an indication that there might be some pushback. And I saw this with group 1 as well, where it's like this difficulty of leaving behind parts of yourself to transform into a new version. It's sort of that nervousness, but at the same time, I think there's going to be a lot of luck in terms of like going through your mental inventory of like values, beliefs, things that you identify with, and really considering what to cut out, because you're going to end up making room for more things. And I think there's like a lot of emotion and like understanding your different phases and stuff too. Like I think with death reversed, you are exiting one stage of life and entering another, and that can be scary. Like I'm not gonna lie to you, it's really freaky because there's like this element of the unknown, but you know, there's also the element of the unknown if you don't move forward, because you will never know what your future could have held if you had taken that leap. You know, and you know, there's, going back to the visual of the moon, you know, your phases, you might not necessarily see the whole picture, but you already have this inherent trust that the moon is all there, even though you can't see all of it. So having that trust within yourself and within the universe is an important aspect of your growth and your success and the luck that is going to come to you in the month of March. So the Two of Cups in reverse is, I feel like, this emphasis of self-love, recognizing the different versions of yourself, the different phases of yourself that got you to where you are now, and respecting that journey, no matter what it looks like. Understanding that, you know, you made the decisions that you did at those different periods based on what you knew. And I think this is also one of those things, like luck that comes to you. You're going to lose something or lose contact with someone, and this might be a choice. This might be sort of what's the word? This, I feel like, it's not in any kind of malicious way, I don't think. Well, I mean, for some it may come across as that, but I think this is your release from things and people that no longer resonate with you. This is very similar to group 1 as well. I feel like group 1 might have been universal. So, but yeah, I think you are understanding that not all of your connections are serving you, or like, you know, there might just be like a big clearing out of things. Spring cleaning comes to mind. Spring cleaning is the vibe here. And I think there's gonna be luck in that, because you are creating space and sort of opening yourself up a little more. There might be some elements of distrust here, but I think it's mostly because of the fear of the unknown. And as more of the moon, I guess, is illuminated over time, you see the bigger picture. So a lot of that is, it comes from that trust of yourself and understanding that, you know, you've gone through different phases before, and different seasons, I guess. Yeah, sometimes the cast from season 1 is not in season 2. So with the 10 of Wands, I think you're going to be taking something on in the month of March that is sort of like a passion project. It might be a creative endeavor, and you're going to put a lot of time and energy into it. But this is going to be a cathartic kind of activity for you, whatever it is. I feel like you're gonna find this activity that's really gonna like fire up your energy in the month of March, and you're gonna put your all into it. And I feel like this also might be sort of a solitary activity, whatever it is, something that you do on your own. Not saying that you won't be around other people, but you know, your progress is very much your own. You have to do the work yourself in order to see the results, but it is going to be a huge drive, and I feel like it's going to change, it's going to change an aspect of your life for sure. So we're gonna dig into some oracle cards and sort of see if we get any further messages on the luck and good things that March is gonna bring. Because, yeah, I feel like being able to see the big picture, self-transformation, finding something that you're really passionate about and put your all into, and like potentially starting a family, making meaningful connections with family, you know, or just people that you have an emotional tie with, setting boundaries and stuff. Like, you're really growing. Woo! Let's get a couple of these cards, please. Oh my goodness. Okay. We got one. Priestess. How are you being called to step up and lead? I feel like that card really relates to the idea of setting an example, especially with boundaries and self-love, and the effort to understand the bigger picture. And then we have birthing a new age, birthing new creations, dreaming a new world into being. So this is really interesting, A, because it talks about birthing, and as I keep bringing up, because I feel like somebody at some point is going to watch this and find out that they're going to be a parent in the month of March. But also birthing new creations. So whatever this activity is for you, your incredible dedication and like positive obsession with whatever it is going to create, it's going to offer something that sort of changes the creative world around you. And this might be like a personal thing. This might change your inner world. Or it could connect to people outside of yourself as well. Yeah, and I think also having this understanding of the bigger picture, especially when in discussions or arguments with opposing views and stuff, being able to understand the different phases of how a person got to their argument. I think that being something that you sort of role model for others is going to help them on their journey as well, and create more of a sense of understanding and peace within whatever community you are a part of. So, to top this off, we're going to grab a couple Rumi Oracle cards. I really like the information that is on these. So, we'll get a couple wise words. I have this Lana Del Rey song stuck in my head. It's not relevant, I just saw it in a TikTok, but I'm like, if I accidentally start singing it, that is why. I'm trying my best not to. So, okay. Okay, so the card that came out is You Who Show the Way. The logical mind finds consolation in reaching a level of comfort in life. Lovers are focused beyond their own comfort. Just as the sun breaks through darkness, bringing light to the world by simply being itself, so too does your inner sun, your soul. You are an inspiration to many and help many more than you realize. This is an acknowledgement of who and what you are, given freely because you are ready to receive it. This is really interesting because it also brings in the aspect of the sun and your inner sun. And if you don't know, quick little science fact, the reason the moon is illuminated is because of the reflective light of the sun. So, finding that inner sun to brighten and illuminate all aspects of the darkened moon is sort of what I'm getting from this card. Especially because I think the Ten of Wands reversed, whatever it is that you're like throwing your heart into wholeheartedly. I don't know where I was gonna go with that, but I think whatever it is that you're pouring yourself into wholeheartedly is that light. It is that inner inspiration that's going to later inspire other people. And like I said, you'll become a role model, but that light is going to illuminate the moon to its completed form, the full moon. And yeah, things are going to fall into place a lot easier. I'm going to pull one more card. Oh, just kidding. Okay. Just kidding about the just kidding. I just dropped part of my Oracle deck. So, one more card take this top card. Celestial Rose of Ma. The searching in the dark finds the light of faith revealed in love. A spiritual gift is on its way to you. This gift signifies the close of a period of suffering. A time of new opportunity is opening as a flourishing and thriving release of your unique soul fragrance to the world, into the world. Let the past go and become fully available to the present moment. This is a gift worth having. So I think this connects to that idea of finding love for the different versions of yourself, finding love and understanding for those who have differing opinions, or, you know, that you're arguing with, understanding that their journey doesn't have to look like yours. And, you know, they're kind of in their own experience, and that's okay. Once you focus in on what is there for you, and sort of go through that inner transformation, please, you're going to be greeted with spiritual gifts. You're going to find that sense of release, that sense of peace, I think. And it's going to open you up to new opportunities that allow you to share your gifts and, like I said, lead and inspire other people. So that is what I'm seeing for you, group 3. Thank you so much for letting me read for you today, and I will see you next time. Bye!